Hello YouTube, welcome back to another autism video. Now my last video was how to prevent an autism meltdown. That list was very short. This one is how to handle an autism meltdown when it occurs. As a lot of you mamas and daddies know, once the meltdown starts, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I want to start out with that, and I want to reiterate that these are tips to help minimize damage done to themselves, to you, to property, to everything around them. It's waiting out the storm and having as minimal damage as possible. So the first thing I am going to just talk about and tell you guys as my tip is that restraints should be your absolute last option. If your child is anything like Noah, my son Noah, he's almost 10 and he has autism and he also has intellectual disability. But for him, restraining him is, I say it's painful, but we're not hurting him, but due to the sensory issues, it is painful for him. He just absolutely hates it. So I try to encourage that to be your last option. Of course, I'm not gonna lie, it is an option that we have to use a lot of times, but I try to use these other things to either make it where we don't have to restrain him, or if we do, it really softens him to the idea more. Obviously, I just mentioned the last step first, but the first real step is to remove the child from the area that they're in. Sometimes this may not be an option. I understand that sometimes we just have to deal with the meltdown wherever it is at. If it's at the grocery store floor, if it's at the mall, I mean, wherever we're at, we just have to deal with it right then and there. But if you have the option and you're available, I would move the child to a safe area away from other people, other things, kids, things that they can easily damage. We actually have a designated area in the homeschool room. It's not currently put up right now, but once everything's done, we've made this designated area kind of similar to what a school would do. So the next tip I have, a lot of you might think it's kind of silly, but it works really well with Noah, and it might not work with your child. But even when they're in the midst of a meltdown, maybe 1 or 2 times out of 10, I can get Noah redirected by either having Netflix on, and sometimes what I will do is I will put his favorite show on YouTube or Netflix on the TV. So maybe sometimes he'll catch his eye and it will kind of catch his interest. Again, this isn't something that works a lot, but it does work sometimes to be able to kind of minimize that meltdown. So this next one is really, really important, and it's something that I feel like as parents, we learn quickly we can't do this, but maybe our friends or family members might try doing this when they're over and a meltdown might be going on. And it is to not try reason or talking to them during a meltdown. Noah is verbal, but he struggles with communication. But in a meltdown, he says horrible things to me. Mean things. He cusses at me. He's really upset. And there's no way of talking to them and reasoning with them in that instance. You have to wait until they are calmed down. Usually Noah will come back to me after the meltdown is over with, and he will apologize, and we will talk about what he said and just kind of go from there. If maybe the meltdown started because he was getting a punishment he didn't like, I explained to him that, hey, you still have to get this punishment, unfortunately, but let's talk about it. So that's the time that you can try talking on their level. I would suggest during the meltdown not to try using long sentences, just using 2 or 3 word phrases. With Noah, we use calm down Noah. For some, that may be offensive to them or something they don't want to use with their child, but it's not that I think that he just needs to calm down and get over it. That is just a key phrase we use with him, and he relates with it, and it helps him sometimes if I'm like, he's in the middle of meltdown and I'm holding him and rubbing his hair, I'm like, calm down. I say it nicely and calmly. I'm not like screaming at him. Always try to keep a calm voice. This is really hard. It's really hard for me too. But try to remain calm and cool, because they're going to reflect. If you start yelling and screaming at them, guys, it's gonna get dangerous in 0 to 60 seconds, okay? The last tip, and it's really not a tip, it's more of a tip for you, and it's okay to feel upset after. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. Whatever emotion you're feeling after that meltdown is over, it's completely okay. And I say this after because when a meltdown is going on, I really don't feel an emotion usually. I wait until after it's over, and then usually all the emotions hit me. And usually it's just anger and sadness. And I'm not angry with Noah because obviously what's happening is really beyond his control, but it's just anger that my son has to struggle like that. And it's sad. I mean, no mother wants their child to go through that. So it's okay to feel that. It's even okay to cry. We've been going through this with Noah since he was roughly about 3 years old. So about 7 years we've been going through this, and still even now I can tell you a couple of weeks ago he like clear on punched me in the face, like busted my lip. I cried, guys. I was angry and I was sad, and it took everything in me not to react to him. It really, really did. But it's okay to feel those feelings. So that's really my best advice as far as meltdowns. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you are new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button so you can become a part of our YouTube family, and also so you can receive my future autism videos. I try to do once a week. The best I can. But thank you so much for watching, and you have yourself a fabulous day. Bye!